Gonzalez. I'm a teacher at Lucille Brown Middle School. And today we are going to go over regular verbs, AR verbs, ER verbs, and IR verbs. So if you know anything about verbs, you remember that there are those three categories of endings in the verbs, AR verbs, ER verbs, and IR verbs. Now we are specifically going to be talking about regular verbs, okay? Regular verbs are verbs that when you drop off the AR, ER, or IR, the leftover part is called your stem. And at that point, we just have to conjugate. We're just going to add a new ending. We don't have to change the stem. You don't have to modify anything. You just drop and add. Now, if you remember, we have to go through the subject pronouns. We had that chart that we went over last class. It's the yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros, vosotros, ellos, ellas, and ustedes. But right now we're going to go over the AR verbs, okay? So if you have YouTube or you're familiar with YouTube, we're going to go over a song that I like to use for my class. And if you look at this screen, you are able to see the link. O, as, a, amos, an. Otra vez, o, as, a, amos, an. Otra vez, o, as, a, amos, an. Otra vez, o, as, a, amos, an. Yo hablo, tú hablas y usted habla. Nosotros hablamos y ustedes hablan. Yo hablo, tú hablas y habla, nosotros hablamos y ellos hablan. Yo trabajo en la clase de matemáticas. Él estudia en la clase de inglés. Ellos dibujan en la clase de arte. Nosotros escuchamos en la clase de español. O, as, a, amos, an. Otra vez, o, as, a, amos, an. Otra vez, o, as, a, amos, an. Otra vez, o, as, a, amos, an. All right, so that we use in our class, we're going to go over the AR verbs. And it's super important to learn AR verbs first because there's a little trick that I like to use in my classroom regarding AR verbs. Okay, so once you have AR verbs and you learn that little song, then we can move on to ER verbs. And I'm going to share this slide. We're going to go over a presentation so that we can see the slide and you can see what I'm talking about. So there is the link for your regular verbs if you want to review it. Okay, so conjugating verbs. Again, we have our subject pronouns. That's your repaso from our previous class. Yo, tú, él, ella, and usted. This is an abbreviation. Nosotros, vosotros, ellos, or ellas, and ustedes. This is also an abbreviation for ustedes. UDS is an abbreviation for ustedes. So if we went over our song, the only thing we were missing was our vosotros, the ice, and that's only used in Spain. However, my students still learn it. So we have hablar, we drop off the AR, and then we're going to have the stem. That's the leftover part. Now we're going to add the endings, o, as, a, amos, ice, an. So if I am the subject of the sentence and I want to say that I speak, I would say yo hablo. Now we have ER verbs. ER verbs are quite easy if you know the AR verbs. Everything that's an A will then change to an E. So on our first one, it's an O, so that would stay the same. From AR, we have as, that would change to ESS. And these are only for regular ER verbs. Then you have your E, EMOS, E accent IS, and EN. And once you have your ER verbs, the IR conjugation, if you're trying to conjugate an IR verb and you know the ER verbs, everything will stay the same except the nosotros and vosotros form. It's quite easy. Again, o, as, a, amos, ice, an. Learn that. Everything that is an A will change to an E if you're trying to conjugate an ER verb. O, ES, E, EMOS, EIS, EN. And then IR verbs, everything will stay the same except nosotros and vosotros. So let's practice. Marco, hablar con Luisa. Hablar is an infinitive. It's an unconjugated verb. It still has your AR on it. So we need to go ahead and remove that AR, and we have the verb habl. That's our stem. And now we have to find out what ending would go there. How do you do that? Let's think. Well, Marco is the subject of the sentence. So Marco would become what subject pronoun? You're right, it's él. So if él is a subject pronoun and it's an AR verb, what would be the ending that we have to add to our stem, HABL? Think about it. Okay? Juan y yo. What subject pronoun takes the place of Juan y yo? Number 3, yo is a subject and a subject pronoun. So all we have to do now is conjugate the verb comer. Comer means to eat. 4, Marquis is the subject of the sentence. The subject pronoun would become what? Marquis is a boy. Once you figure that out, then again, you look at the verb in parentheses. You take off the IR, ER, or AR, and then you add the ending based on the subject of the sentence. Let's give you guys about a few seconds to go over these. Marco blank con Luisa. Hablar means to speak. Juan y yo blank. Escuchar música. What would that become? Yo comer pizza. And Marquis vivir en ritmo. Y'all got it? Let's check our answers. So if you answered Marco habla con Luisa, you are correct. Marco is the subject of the sentence, and therefore we would change the noun Marco and replace it with the subject pronoun él, and then we would look at our chart, figure out which ending goes with él for AR verbs, and replace that AR with that new ending. Juan y yo escuchamos música. Juan y yo is the subject of the sentence. The nouns, because it's two, Juan y yo, are replaced with the subject pronoun nosotros. And then we would look at our chart. What is the new ending for the nosotros? And that would be added to the stem. Number 3, yo como pizza. Yo is the subject and the subject pronoun. Therefore, we know the endings for yo. And regardless if it's AR, ER, or IR, will always be an O. And 4, Marquis vive en Richmond. Remember, it's an IR verb. It is not nosotros en vosotros, so it will have the same ending as the L form in the ER verb. Okay? Moving forward. Now, got it? Get excited. All right, so let's do a little mini quiz to see if you guys have been able to grasp this review concept. Terminaciones de los verbos. What are the 3 possible endings in Spanish? So what are the 3 endings? We had it at the beginning of our review for the chart. What are your 3 endings? We had chart 1. If you knew that, you would change something to something. And then it's similar in the 3rd chart, except nosotros and vosotros. Can you remember what that would be? Awesome. If you answered AR, ER, and IR verbs, give yourself a 100 for this one question. You got it correct. Pregunta, question, número 2. Para el verbo bailar, for the verb bailar, to dance, what is the stem or the raíz? Remember, we do something to a verb to conjugate, and once we drop something, the leftover is called something. Do you remember what that would be? Okay. The answer is bail. Remember, the infinitive is bailar. We drop off the AR, we drop that ending, and the leftover is called the stem. Raíz is stem in Espanol. Okay, good job. If you guys got that one, pat yourself on the back, put another check on your little paper, and you have another 100. Let's go to number 3. Pregunta. Please complete the conjugations for the verb amar. Amar is to love. If you could remember the song at the beginning, it should help you out. All right, here we go. Let's check our answers. O, as, a, amos, ais, an. Otra vez, o, as, a, amos, ais, an. Muy bien. If you got that correct, go ahead and give yourself a check for that answer. We've got 2 more to go. Y'all are doing great. All right. Number 4, please complete the conjugations for the verb vender. Vender means to sell. Remember, everything that's an A in the AR verbs, we become an E for ER verbs. O, as, a, amos, ais, an. O, as, a, amos, ais, an. That will change to ER verbs. Everything that's an A will become an E. O, as, a, amos, ais, an. O, as, a, amos, ais, an. O, as, a, amos, ais, an. Okay, let's check our answers. O, S, E, emos, en. Now, if you look at the question, if you look at our selections, you have O, E, S, E, E. That's correct. Remember, él, ella, and usted are all part of the same little category when we're doing our subject pronouns. And ustedes and ellos, remember, ustedes can also be abbreviated. UDS is also in the last category. We have our singular side, we have our plural side, we have first, second, and third person. So él and ella is our third person singular. Ustedes, ellos, and ellas are our third person plural. Good job. If you got that one right, give yourself a check. Now let's go to our last one. Question, complete the conjugations for IR verbs. Remember, everything that's an AR verb becomes an ER verb. Everything from ER verb to IR verb is the same except nosotros and vosotros. We already know that the first part will always be O. Yo will always be the O, especially for regular verbs. All right, let's check our answers. O, S, E, imos, and N. Remember that the ER verbs are exactly the same as the IR verbs, except in the nosotros and vosotros forms. Okay, any questions? If you need some additional help, here are some extra resource videos you can find on YouTube. AR verbs, ER verbs, and IR verbs. All right, so do we have any questions? Do y'all need any other help? You can also find other videos on YouTube if you would like. And there's also a SpanishSpanish.com website where you are also able to go to Conjugamos. There's tons of worksheets where you can just ask your teacher. Adios. Thank you. Have a great day.